Morgan Price has made history again. Simone is counseling the Winter Olympians with her wisdom. Elite season has begun. We had Winter Cup and the Cottbus World Cup, and we had four more tens this week in NCAA. It is February 23rd, 2026, and welcome to the number one gymnastics podcast in the galaxy. I'm Jessica, and I'm here with Spencer from the Balance Beam Situation. First, the headlines.
Headlines. Let's go. Tell me what's been happening. Okay, I live in Iraq. Let me know.
Simone at the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, which looks so quaint and like calm.
Oh, because you feel like it's both the separation of the venues and the smaller Winter Olympics is a little more chill than the Summer Olympics.
Yes, that's how I feel. It just seems like you get a nice leisurely, like you get to see the wintry wonderland, or have a hot chocolate and
I think Simone was having a great time not having to compete.
Exactly.
It's like, what is a more fun Olympics? The one where you don't have to compete.
I love where she did the piece with Scott for the Olympic Channel, and of course he sat next to her. Bregman, and her husband moved over. At first I thought, oh, they must be watching like women's hockey, because she was like, do a lot of them date? But they were watching the pair skating.
Still a worthwhile question.
Yes, definitely. So she gave nice advice to Ilya, the quad god, but gave him nice, ignore people, just chill, it's fine, it's just figure skating kind of a thing. She also said that people need to stop asking what's next, which is,
for her or for him?
Everyone, for all athletes. Let us just live. We just achieved our dream of being at the Olympics, and calm down now.
That is the problem when, for everyone else, gymnastics is the thing that you look forward to. It's the thing you're excited about, so you want to know what's next. Like, what do I have to look forward to? What's coming next? And then if you're the athlete, it's so much pressure. Yeah.
And you're like, but that's what everybody wants to know. And like, as the press, your job is to ask what people want to know. So, okay, Morgan Price. Who was coming into college, we were like, yeah, she's going to win everything. It's Morgan Price. She ended up not going to Georgia, and instead she went to Fisk and got the first 10 ever for Fisk. And now she has gotten the first 10 ever for Arkansas, which when this happened, and we talked about it on College and Cocktails, both of us were like, how did Kat Grable never get a 10?
We needed to talk about Kat Grable a little bit more. Double Arabian half out in college.
Everyone go watch Kat Grable, and you will understand why we were like...
I mean, we knew she hadn't. We were just saying, it's also a great time to remember other amazing routines in Arkansas gymnastics history. For instance, Kat
Grable is the whole of
in a different era, in a different scoring era, would have received many tens.
Yeah. Okay, so other news, we have two more GAGE coaches suspended, in addition to Al Fong, already suspended for a very long time past the Olympics, and we have Armane, the two head coaches, also suspended. She's suspended for a year. Two more coaches are suspended. Carla Grimes, suspended from all contact, and then Tiffany Davenport is suspended with the Center for SafeSport, and she has a temporary suspension. So this is in addition to new investigations being opened about Fong and Armane. So they already have these suspensions, and now there's a new investigation. And I wonder if the new coaches who are suspended also has to do with them being on property and not reporting it, that Armane and Al Fong were on GAGE property. But we'll find out. Let us discuss the meets that happened this week, starting with Cottbus.
Elite season. It's happening.
Elite season.
Apparatus World Cups. Let's go. Okay, Cottbus World Cup in Germany. First Apparatus World Cup of the season. So there's a series of Apparatus World Cups. This is how you qualify to Worlds if you are an individual apparatus specialist. For instance, if you're not going to qualify with the team, you want to get points at these events so you can be ranked high enough to get a spot at the World Championship. So that's the actual significant implications. We're kind of too early to know who needs points or where we are, because this is just the first of 6 events. We haven't done conference championships yet, so we don't know who's qualified through that route. So you're kind of just, you're posturing, you're trying to get points, but we don't really know who actually needs them yet.
I love the idea of posturing. That's what I feel like I just think it's funny, but I appreciate your analysis. So,
And I mean, I can link it to floor, where I did feel like we saw a lot of posturing without character.
It is interesting
like
to compare this meet and Winter Cup, because I was
lots to compare. In general, I think artistry-wise, Cottbus won, but I think there was a lot of a good, nice posture, extended legs, but like blank.
Nothing in the giving no character
in the expression.
Where was
so there was a lot of
the theater training
prettying around?
Yes,
which is nice to watch, but not like there wasn't as much depth to it. But I really meant like you're trying to get some ranking points.
Yes, not what the code calls for. I was bummed that Sugihara of Japan did not defend her. This isn't another world championship, but I just want her to win all the time on floor. She is the reigning world champion on floor. The reigning world floor. She did want to go out of bounds the whole time, basically. She was like, this floor can't hold me.
She's just like, clearly what I got from her floor routine is that she's been taking surfing lessons. And so then she went toward out of bounds and she was like, I need to practice the surfing, but I'm not there yet. So she just kind of surfed a little bit out of bounds. It was fine.
I like it.
My question is, okay, great job, great routine, love it. If you are the world floor champion, do you have an obligation to get a new routine?
Yes.
Sure. I almost feel like you knew what I was going to ask before I finished the question.
As discussed last week when we talked about what we could learn from the Winter Olympics in the gymnastics world, and specifically about the Glitter and Gold documentary that Katie did on Netflix about the pairs ice figure dancing together people. Yes, routine should be for 1 year, and then we should never, ever see them again unless you bring them back, like to do a Prince routine in Minnesota. That is the correct thing to do. Otherwise, no, it's a 1 year thing. So, yes, everyone needs new routines.
It's early in the year. She may be like, you guys, it's not ready yet. I have a new one for when it matters. And
she did say,
like, calm down.
She did tell me in Jakarta that she was going to have a brand new leotard. And it's a surprise now to celebrate her being a world champion on floor. So I expect it to be extremely dramatic, like her jean shorts leotard. You heard that right, jean shorts.
Yes, we have heard you mention this before.
I'm obsessed.
The most you have ever talked about a leotard.
It is.
Usually you're like, this is stupid. There are too many sparkles. It's gaudy. Why would you ever want to dress like this? But jean shorts, leotard, you're like, everybody shut up. This is fashion. Now fashion has started because there's a jean shorts leotard.
I didn't say I liked it. I just said it was revolutionary.
That is liked when it comes to fashion. You noted it.
No, absolutely not. Anna Kalmakova,
yes,
independent
she did
athlete.
win floor.
She did win floor.
And vault.
And vault with an ode to Mother Paseka, except with her legs together on vault, I would say.
Well, then what is the ode to Mother Paseka?
Well, that it was just like a side. She sort of is turning crooked sideways when she does it. It sort of turns on the horizontal axis rather than the straight up and down. It's horizontally instead of it's transverse, where it should be in one linear plane. So that is how it was Mother Paseka. But I appreciate
when you say that, I think
handspring Rudy.
When you say that, I think, she used
helicopter leg.
Yeah, she starfished. Her block is a starfish.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. I was really impressed how she kept her legs together, but it was in the just use whatever plane you want to and then pike the whole time. But it's worth a lot, and she did it very efficiently, I would say. I thought Schoenmeyer was going to win, though.
You thought Schoenmeyer should have won?
Yeah. Well, I thought she was going to win because coming in, she did so well.
She was the top qualifier. Yeah, she was the top. She was top in qualification. She did her Yurchenko double full. Kind of had a big bounce back. She did a Lopez as her second fault. What I think happened was that she was so concerned with like, everybody, I got two hands. Is this two hands enough for you? on my round off half on vault.
Yeah.
That then she didn't get the repulsion she was looking for because she was so like, God, gotta worry about these people and their obsession with hands. So then she landed pretty short on her Lopez. So I didn't have a problem with the standings.
Yeah.
I didn't think either of Schoenmeyer's vaults were really her best.
Yeah. And she was, every time I think about her vault, I think about her coach being in the mix zone with us in Jakarta and just trying to explain to everyone, like, the didn't show pressure on both hands. And that's why she got, didn't get her vault score because she was so distraught. And he was also like, this happens. But she fixed it, and that's huge. So now she can work forward from here. We did have very important news of Flying Banana Jesus at this meet from Fioravanti did it, right?
She does, yes.
Yeah. And
do you want to explain what that vault actually is, or just we assume the listeners at this point know what a Flying Banana Jesus is?
It's a front handspring front layout.
Okay. Thank you.
And it's always glorious and dramatic. There's no way to do it without it being dramatic and looking kind of like a stunt vault. But it can be stunningly beautiful when done correctly. So Sugihara didn't win floor, but she did win beam.
And just like, she went up first in that final, and she was just like, everybody go home. I'm going to do the most beautiful beam. My toes are going to be pointed. She had like 2 or 3 1/10 checks, and that was basically it for the entire routine, which is for the elite version of just absolutely nailing your routine, because no one absolutely nails anything. It was excellent. Absolutely. We're like, oh, she went up first, and you were like, we have met the gold medalist. The only one who could have beat her at that point was Kalia Nemour, because she has the difficulty and she was the top qualifier. But big wobble on her. In qualification, she had done her whole mount sequence where she does mount to acro, and it's great. She didn't get that. She had a big wobble, had a couple other broken connections. So she still had difficulty. I was glad to see that Sugihara was still first, because I was kind of worried, not because Nemour is not deserving, but I was like, that routine should not be first. Like, I was worried that her D score was still going to elevate her to first, even with several pretty large errors. But I thought it was appropriate that Sugihara was still first, because her routine was so good.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked about what happened with Nemour on bars, because she
didn't win, and that's shocking.
She didn't win. She fell. She came in with a new skill, which is an in-bar Tkachev half. She had a 15-2 with a 6-3 D score coming into finals. She was just absolutely stunning and looked amazing. And then she ended up 7th on bars, and 2nd on beam. So that was good. But it was weird, because she just from my perspective, you tell me, we're watching her, if you're watching along, her qualifications routine, but
the 15-2 one, the hit one. Yeah.
Because you can see the new skill, but she whacked her feet on the floor. As far as I'm concerned, from how it looked and the sound, she hit her feet on the floor on her first pack.
100%.
Yeah.
On the Yezhova, I think.
Oh, Yezhova. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then went over on her pirouette. And so then she was like, ugh, this is stupid. I'm jumping off the bar, which is what you should do. Go relax yourself for 30 seconds. Get some chalk.
It is the thing where she's so good that I'm surprised this doesn't happen more to her, but she's so good that you're like, of course this doesn't happen more. But the reason no one does as many connections as she does is because you have to finish everything so early in order to be ready to connect into the next element. And I do think what happened is she rushed that Stalder full and started twisting really early, and then she was off axis and went over the wrong way. And I was thinking about it when I was watching it back. I was like, it's amazing that doesn't happen every single time she does this routine, because you have to be done so quickly, otherwise you'd break every connection.
Yep.
You'd be like, oh, I don't have the timing, that's off. And it happens like once a year to her, where she does like a pirouette too early or something.
And she's just so amazing. I mean, the fact that like her gymnastics, I'm still so, because we are such like 80s, 90s, 2000, like this is our era of
the best years. Yeah.
Right.
That
I'm so used to people just being destroyed after an Olympics or a world champ, like them not being able to continue. And now we've had generations of gymnasts that continue. They go to an Olympics, they compete the next year. They go to World Championships, they're still competing. Like they don't need a whole year. They don't have season ending injuries every time they compete, and it's just still one of those things where I'm like, look, she's freaking amazing. She's still going. Yeah. Speaking of still going, we have Alyssa Iorio from Italy defending for the whole country. Bars.
Just defending for the whole country. She did end up winning bars after, the expectation was that Nemour would have won, but she fell. Nemour went up first and fell. Iorio finished the final. She went up last and did end up winning. It was one of those things where it was suddenly interesting, the final, because Nemour fell, where you were like, oh wait, who's going to be who's going to be the winner? What's going to be the podium? I want to know what you thought, because my initial feeling was that Giulia Perotti had the best routine in the final, and she was bronze, but that may just be bias. I did think so. Perotti hit a really good one. Kayumova, who is an independent Russian competing here, then went up afterward. I thought Perotti should have been ahead of Kayumova, and Perotti had a higher execution score. She just had less difficulty. And then Iorio went, and I'm fine with Iorio winning, but I feel like I also thought Perotti was the best one, and she got third.
I know the thing about Milana's routine was it's so hard because she has all those in-bar stalters, and every time you're just like, oh my god. But then Iorio also has, I mean, all the Italians have the stalters. But it's like Milana's routine, it started really strong, and then it was labored at the end, and her rhythm was off, and I was like, okay, I just thought she'd have a lower E score. But I mean, a 7.833 is still a low E score, but not when you have a big fat 6.3 D.
Right. And it's a great routine. I thought she had too many short vertical positions, too many missed handstands.
Yeah.
But
I love it. It was a really exciting final. And
so then it was really, and it was a high level field in Cottbus this year, because you had Nemour, the best, obviously the best bars worker in the world, running for all time, but you're afraid to say it because Horkina's gonna emerge from a dark cloud anytime you say that Nemour might be the best uneven bars worker of all time, and just start throwing lightning bolts at everyone. So it's scary to say, but she might be. But she fell, and you still had 3 amazing routines in this final to be the medalist. So that was really enjoyable.
We do have a special award for elegance at Cottbus.
I needed this. I need this mentally, emotionally, and physically, because the GymCastic Award for Elegance Cottbus Edition, I'm giving to Leah Quaas of Germany. I loved watching her already in the bars final. And I'm throwing in, because we're talking about a German, I'm throwing in a random already in every when Germans speak English and everything is already. In the bars final, she did not have the difficulty, but it was a very well executed routine. She won toe point, she won handstands, but she had a much lower D score, so she wasn't going to get the medals. Similar was the case on beam. I really enjoyed watching her rhythm in particular on beam, and the way she expressed her routine, because it was slow, but it was good slow. Because sometimes when beam is slow, it's because you're tentative or anxious and you're kind of pausing. It was consistent, intentional, slow rhythm that was very pleasant to watch. And it was very much the opposite, the exact polar opposite of break the beam. It was like cherish the beam.
Yes.
She was like, the beam is precious and expensive, and we cannot afford another one. So we cannot break this beam because we're not buying any different ones. So cherish the one you have. And it was like, why would I break the beam? This is my home. I live here and I belong here. And it was like if you gave Tamara Lazakovic the current beam code, and we're just like, this is the beam code, but move like it's the 1972 Olympics.
That was I had to look up. I was like, who's Tamara Lazakovic? Which I should know. How dare I? But Soviet beam.
Okay, if you don't know, let's pause Cottbus. We're gonna do a history class for 500 hours.
Doesn't she do the full twisting butt spin?
I would say, so Tamara Lazakovic was on the Soviet team at the 1972 Olympics. She won 1 billion medals. 4.
V-neck Leo. Yes.
That's yes. If you're
This is how you
Jessica,
know the eras.
this is how you know
Yes.
what era it is.
All
So
polyester
the
V-neck.
1972 Olympics, I think, is a really fascinating time in gymnastics history and beam history in general. There's like the art history nerd in me is like, oh, you could write such a good compare and contrast essay about like the different beams that were happening, because this was when Olga Korbut emerged on the gymnastics scene and did a back tuck on beam. And it was revolutionary in terms of introducing acrobatic flight to beam. At the same Olympics where we had Tamara Lazakovic, who I would say was the epitome, the perfection of the previous beam style that was cartwheels and walkovers and balances,
everything
and
connected,
and movement show demonstrations of balance. And she was the best there ever was, I think, at that style. And then she showed up at the Olympics the same time as Olga Korbut was like, no, that's basic. We don't do that anymore. We do acrobatic flight. Beam has changed. You get silver, I get gold. See you later. Bye. But Lazakovic was that the old style, smooth rhythm. Everything is one sequence of motion. Is kind of what I was going for there.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean. And this is one of the things that I always feel like what kills me about modern gymnastics, is that like to me,
modern.
Everything is supposed to be smooth, seamlessly connected. There should be no division between the acrobatics and the dance. They go right into each other, and we never see that anymore. Nobody does that. And like the last person that did it was like Coupettes just stepping into her series. And even that wasn't very artistic, but at least she didn't stop. But it's funny because I used to compete with Masako Cardos, and we did adult gymnastics together forever, and she competed in Japan. And she would do her routines, and she was from that era of the 70s gymnastics. So she would compete now as like a 50-year-old. And people would be like, that was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's like revolutionary. Oh my God, your style. And it's like, because she kept that style and it was so beautiful. But the younger gymnasts would just like lose their minds about it and be like, how do you do that? It's like all one. And I was like, because it's correct. Oh, I just love her. Yeah,
so anyway, that's my art history. My art history lesson of the day.
I also
Olga Korbut started the Renaissance. Don't worry about it.
What a difference for her on beam. Her beam did not used to be that emotional.
Yeah. This is the first time I've really noticed it. She had like a movement theme. She was trapped in a glass prison, and she was mime. She had to try to figure out how to break the plane of the beam, even though she was in a glass prison. I got a sense there was a style.
What was your favorite moment for comedy?
Oh, the beam final itself was just delivered in the opportunities for comedy. Cottbus, I'm going to say, got the memo better than Winter Cup. Because we're going to talk about this in a second. And I was like, did you guys think that you're supposed to be good at Winter Cup? Because that's not what we're watching for. Everyone was all good. Okay. Nakashima of Japan. She had a time on beam. There were some things. But I also feel like she was personally victimized by the mat shape on her dismount. Because she was doing a punch, front twist, dismount. She was a little under-rotated and a little short, and she lunged to the side to save it, and it should have just been a lunge to the side, but then she ended up on the edge corner of the mat and tripped on it and then fell. After she hit her dismount and then fell. It was great.
It is the most, how you're a gymnast, how did you sprain your ankle? Oh,
yeah, it was that. I stepped on the edge of the mat.
And the beam mat tried to kill me. That's how. Yeah. A quality moment. We also had some audio problems during the meet.
I do want to talk about that because I'm 5 years old and that was really important to me. But going back to this mat situation.
Yes.
Can I ask again why we don't just have more matting? Because the shape of this, it seems totally unnecessary to then get thin for the dismount. Like, why not? The matting is wider around the beam. Why not just continue that width all the way down? That seems like...
Yeah, the width that is on either side of the beam.
If you do your dismount correctly, perfectly, it shouldn't be an issue because you should be in line with the beam. But when does that happen? People make mistakes. That's why mats exist. So, because you're not going to hit all the time, you're going to fall, and there could just be more mat, and then this wouldn't have happened, and she would have hit this routine, kind of.
Yep. I agree. I think there should be Matt all the way
Also, we
down
had
on the other
Danusha
side.
Francis on the commentary, and I was like, Danusha, this is a great opportunity to talk about how you were personally victimized by the mat rules on Beam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I
Okay,
also,
now I
yeah.
can talk about farts, because this is what I mostly want to talk about. I admit that I'm 5 years old. And if I were a mature adult, I would have said, oh, there was a weird scratching in the audio connection during Makovichkova's floor routine. And it had that like Velcro ripping sound that you get sometimes when an audio connection is not right. That's what a mature adult would say. But me, on the other hand, heard what happened to the audio during Makovichkova's passage of dance and was like, Danusha, did you just fart? There was,
Dare
it was
you?
there was a there was an aggressive, loud, fartish sound in the middle of her floor routine on the broadcast, and because this is the point of this podcast, I need to talk about it. I need to express it. I need to say that it happened because it happened, and I laughed out loud, and I needed to like a mature adult, and I needed to talk about it.
It would have sounded like a glorious trumpet if Noosh had farted on the broadcast, first of all. And second of all, it was so loud, though. It made me jump. That's how loud that audio fart was. Something happened. But also, I just want to talk about Makovichkova's fuck.
That was right.
Was
you
good?
Just hesitated.
Makovichkova's from Czechoslovakia, her
Czechoslovakia
there
has
you
been a
go.
country for
I
like
was determined to make a mistake.
over 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but I'll never forget. Her elbow, like handstand to elbow cartwheel pass was so creative just for artistic reasons of artistry and acrobatics together. And also her back attitude turn. It's just an attitude. We don't have to say it's a back attitude, but it's so pretty. I love that she
You
tried
can do front attitude. It just looks dumb. Not if you're a ballet. Don't write in.
Right.
Like, if you're a ballet, it's
I'm
gorgeous.
trying not to get letters.
It will look dumb if you
On
tell a gymnast to do it. And everyone who does ballet would agree with that because they're already like everything looks dumb when a gymnast tries to do it, be ballet or be nothing.
Or just at least take one ballet class in your entire life. Also, we have to talk about Tomas Gonzalez, Chilean hero of artistry, is back. He was, remember, famously, we talked about him for many years because he has some of the most beautiful artistic. It was like watching the Soviet and Cuban gymnasts of the 70s and 80s compete. So beautiful. He then went on, he was the 9th gymnast or the 10th at the 2017 Montreal Worlds hole in the floor incident because he was like, there was a hole in the floor too. Bart's not the only one that felt the hole in the floor. Which I love.
And he was 9th here, and I was like, when Tomas Gonzalez finishes 9th, you put him in the final. This is established legal precedent.
Exactly. So he went on to be the president, controversially, of the Chilean Federation. He got married. He's out now. He has a book out about his experience, and he did have a Soviet coach, and it was not all positive for him. And now he's back competing again and doesn't look like a day has passed. Such beautiful gymnastics. But I do wish he had given more construction time to the art. But I just don't know if that he, it's hard to allow for that. Even though men's gymnastics allegedly wants that, it's still hard to add it all. Not everybody can be him circa 2012 / Kyle Schufelt. So, but it was great to see him back. Also, Chaperny sticking the crap out of his vaults for Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay,
my God,
I did have a moment where, Chaperny, I'm used to the Ukrainian athletes wearing like yellow and blue. He was wearing Germany. He was wearing
at first I was like, why is he wearing the Armenia colors? That's wrong.
I thought he was on the German team, and I was like, who is this new German vaulter who is so great at a Dragulescu? And then I was like, oh, it's Chaperny. Of course, yes, he's stuck at Dragulescu. Yes, he does that all the time. He is one of the best vaulters in the world. We know this. But I was like, Ukraine. He wasn't wearing yellow and blue, and I got confused because I'm Al Troutwig now, I guess, and I just need everyone to wear their national colors and nothing else.
It was confusing here because then, like, not Russia AIN gymnasts were wearing the same colors as some of the Italian gymnasts, and I was like, you guys need to really If another team has your same color, go switch. Like Germany used to have those crazy colors where they were just all neon. Although
Yeah, I think I associate that more with the women's team than the men's, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Where
the
they
men
were
need to
just
be more
like, I am
exciting.
a highlighter unitard. I came to this
Yes.
competition as a highlighter, and I'm like, thank you. Yes.
Did you have any other moments of comedy?
I had so many, but first of all, okay. We need to get Sam McCulloch a polo shirt that fits better.
Oh, Jesus.
Because we need to get Cheryl Shade on it. Because remember when NBC was putting Nastia in that Dowdy polo shirt and Cheryl Shade was like, my client will not be seen in something so dowdy. We are going to let her Nastia dress the way Nastia wants to dress. And I'm like, okay, we need Cheryl Shade to get him here for Sam McCulloch. He doesn't have to dress like, a dad waiting outside the middle school dance to pick up his kids. He's Sam McCulloch.
I know. It's very upsetting. They need to be tailored like they do for the Olympics.
This is the most important thing.
Uniform that you didn't borrow from your dad when you were 7. Yeah. Okay.
Other things. I have more artistry questions for you. What do we do with Kalmikova's routine? Because here's what I felt like she was doing. First third of that routine on floor. First third of that routine, I was like, this is a USA floor routine. Parentheses derogatory. Like she was not doing anything. And then she gets the hard elements out of the way. And then she's like, okay, we're USA in the front, party in the back. Like now we're going to do a floor routine and we're going to meet. She was like, we're going to meet more of the requirements of the code. I'm not saying it was, I agree with your facial expression right now. I'm not saying it was, the art has started. But my question is there an opportunity in deducting for artistry for like level of artistry not maintained throughout the exercise?
Yes.
Like if you are meeting the requirements in the final 2/3 of your routine, but not in the first third, how do we deduct for this?
I think yes is the answer. We do deduct for this.
We should or we do? But
we do.
Okay.
I just think like there was things in the beginning where I was like, oh, you're doing an isolation for no theatrical artistic reason because you're doing involvement of all the body parts. Like at least you're adding it in there. But then there was like none of the routine made sense to me. I was just like, oh, you're doing the choreography from the Nadia movie where you're just a bent over puppet, and then
it's something.
It's right, and then I was like, but at least there's something in here. It's weird. I don't like it, and none of it makes sense, but it's there. But yeah, it was a very incongruous routine.
Yeah, maybe that's just what it is.
Yeah. Whereas then we watched like Risa Sponda. I was very interested in her routine at Winter Cup because it's so different from her, and there's a lot of emoting, and it was like it's like definitely not, I think, what you'd think of as like a power athlete style, but I think it really worked for her. Anyway, yeah.
Interesting. I feel like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet.
Other thing I want to say, one of my favorite things, and this may be in the category of things that made me and no one else laugh, but you know how gymnasts on floor, when they're doing a wolf turn, they pretty much all kind of choreograph rolling also afterward. So if you're kind of off, you just sort of now my choreography is rolling and I can kind of roll after it and do things on the ground. I think that's pretty typical. But it was Smansar on floor who has that choreographed in, and then I think she surprised herself that she hit her wolf turn under control because she was just sort of there and it was like, oh, I did it better than I thought.
How do I get out?
How do I get to my cover after this? So then she just kind of plopped onto the ground and started rolling. And it was very funny to me. Because she also kind of, after her last pass, and maybe this was the choreographic style, which is just like you hit an element and then you just C drop. And then you start doing choreography. But I liked that.
Oh, I enjoy that very much.
I always enjoy when someone's accidentally better than they thought they were going to be, and then they don't know what to do.
Oh, it is time for the updates.
Lay them on me.
Okay. The first update is we are giving away 2 tickets to the American Cup, and we have a winner, Christy 911, Christy-911 on Blue Sky you are our winner. So reach out, gymcastic@gmail.com, or DM us on Blue Sky so we can give you your 2 tickets to American Cup. We have a club where we do lots of other stuff. You guys support us, we give you lots of stuff. Like we have live show season pass, a discount, we have merch, we have an extra podcast every single week for you guys. You can join the club at gymcastic.com. And we also have merch in our store where we have a new design this week. We have the I Heart Gymnastics, but it's the GymCastic logo, and then Gym.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Yes, like that. And we're having an end of winter sale all week. So you're getting ready to watch all the meets with your friends or College and Cocktails. We have a College and Cocktail shirt now. We have the Team Bronze design if you want to support the upcoming meet between 2 people who may or may not have bronze medals on floor from the Paris Olympics. Show your support for all the gymnasts and for us and our designer. So I hope you guys like those and check them out. Gymcastic.com is where the store is. And one of the extra podcasts we have every week, in addition to games like Wordle and Word Search and all the games, some are updated every day, some are updated weekly. We have College and Cocktails. Who are we watching this week, Spencer?
This week, we will be watching Georgia against Kentucky on Friday. That's February 27th. The meet is earlier than typical, so just note that down. We're going to start probably around 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're, among those who are like, College and Cocktails is kind of past my bedtime, you guys, this might be the meet for you because it is a little earlier than usual. This week's official College and Cocktails cocktail / mocktail is the Code Hacker. So everybody, code hack those routines like nobody's business. Get that 2 pass floor routine out of there with a double back and a front lay front fall.
Which we're going to talk about in a second when we discuss Winter Cup. But one more update for you on fantasy. The salaries have been updated. All the lineups reset now. You have to reset your lineups. Lineups lock Friday at 2:45 Pacific time. And of course, we have a fantasy league that you can join anytime because we have weekly winners, and we have a podcast every Wednesday that goes along with one of our newsletters. We have many newsletters, and you can find it all at gymcastic.com. And thanks to all of our Club Gym Nerd members for making this possible. Winter Cup.
Let's talk about it. I mean, my main takeaway was that no one realized that they were supposed to fall on everything.
What?
Honestly, I felt so bad for Ali D'Amelio and Izzy Stassi, who had like normal Winter Cup performances with her. Like, I kind of fell and I'm trying some things out and I'm not ready. It felt like one of ththose things where everyone else was like, we're all gonna wear pirate costumes today. And then they show up and they're the only ones in the costume. And they're like, you guys, it was Winter Cup. We all said we were gonna fall on everything at Winter Cup. You didn't do it.
Don't you know about this?
Didn't you know? Yeah.
Meet is basically the thing I like about Winter Cup is it is the qualifier to the spring elite meets. If you want to go to those, you have to compete here and show up, and the results of this one meet give you assignments or not. It's not, you don't have to go to camp and they don't, base it on whatever. You have to do it in front of an audience on a podium on hard surfaces. So Hezly Rivera won handedly with a massive, gigantic whopper of a kick you right in the ass, 56.750.
Yeah.
And one beam to floor. Just to put that in perspective, because I have made a chart, Spencer, and I know you never look at my tabs. But did you look at my tabs?
There are too many tabs and too many notes. That's not for me.
My charts are excellent. So basically, the all-around at Worlds last year from Melnikova was a 55.066 is what won.
With a miss, but yeah.
Right. So it could have been a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But like that's what won. So the 56 is a huge score.
Mm-hmm.
Gigantic. Not impossible.
I'm kind of throwing these execution scores out, but it was an excellent performance that was very well prepared for any time of the year, especially for Winter Cup when it's February and we don't really expect a gymnast to be that ready. Like if she showed up at nationals and did the same thing, you would say that's a worthy nationals winning kind of performance. So that was unexpected because we haven't seen her since she was like, no, I'm too injured by last season. So to see her looking that prepared was very encouraging, and maybe a sign that people are caring about American Cup. They want to get an assignment. They want to get those assignments, I guess.
Yeah, it was clear who wanted the American Cup assignments. I mean, not everybody went for the assignment. So just because someone didn't get an assignment, some people didn't want them. They don't want to do these meets this earlier in the season. Their focus is Worlds, and so they're not going for this. But clearly, like Hezly, the Wogas were going for American
Charlie
Cup.
Bullock. Let's talk about Charlie Bullock and how excited we are that she is a senior.
Senior! Finally! You guys remember Charlie Bullock because she's, made all the teams, but also you remember her because the first time we talked about her long, long ago was when her floor music was to I Like Big Butts when she was a junior, and she was just a little tiny thing, and it was hilarious. And she was like, yeah, I picked out this music because I like it. And she can dance, which is the other reason. Great.
And she can in-bar. She can in-bar. And uses that to her advantage to win bars at this event and have a very internationally competitive D score.
Yep. And a 55-2 all-around, which is very respectable.
That is huge. It has been kind of a while. I mean, Hezly is the exception, but I think we've gotten into kind of the expectation that the top juniors aren't immediately also the top seniors the year they turn senior. That used to be like, obviously, you go to nationals and the highest score comes from the junior session was not unusual. That's much more unusual now, but it's not as much of an expectation that you immediately transition from junior to senior and you are as competitive as this. So it is impressive to see Charlie Bullock come out, hit a complete all around her first time as a senior and finish second.
Yeah.
With over a 55. Huge.
Yeah. Super stoked for her. Claire Pease came back, looks even stronger than she did in the past. I just was waiting for her vault to get better and better the older and older she gets, because older get more power. And her vault's been
I thought it looked solid.
Yeah, it looked really solid last year, and now it's even better. So I'm stoked for her. She won vault. She's one of the only gymnasts. There's only two that did 2 vaults.
Yeah,
and
she won the 2 vault standings, and then Risa Sponda won the one who had the highest single vault score. Yeah, but yeah. And Claire Pease did fall on bars. It was one of she did her double front and tried to save it, and then it was like, there's so many steps, and now the hand is down, and whatever. But
I'm just gonna sit down. I'm already gonna make it to American Cup.
But yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But compared to last year, when it was funny because Claire Pease had a fall worth of out of bounds on floor at Winter Cup, and we were like, it's Winter Cup. She was, like we talked about with Hezly, much farther along in terms of preparation at this point in the season than last year. And this is, I think, the best, moving on, 4th all around was Risa Sponda, the best we've seen Risa Sponda as a senior in the all around.
Yeah.
Her vault was extremely good. I actually thought there should have been more separation between her Yurchenko double full and everyone else's. She hit floor. She did her front half to double back.
Branny. At least she didn't say a forwards whip half, which is not a thing. Her Branny double back.
You can do a forward whip.
That you can't do a forward whip. That's just a front layout, because no one does an actual front layout. It's like how we call layouts on beam layouts, and they're not when they're step out. Most people do a whip, but Hezly's was excellent, and she did not pike down, and she was past the 45 degrees. Full credit.
I think there was a little pike, but I agree with full credit.
Yeah, full credit. She piked, but she piked after the point at which she would get full credit. But also, I want to say about Hezly's beam, I was a little surprised at the E-score because she did have a big pause and save a wobble in between her front aerial and her ring. And she still went for the ring. She took off her sideways, facing the concession stand, and still, I'm exaggerating, but it was a big pause. And I was like, she did keep moving, but she was totally hips facing off the beam and still went for it. But then she landed it perfectly, and I was like, wow, that was super impressive.
And Caroline Moreau also, I thought, was very strong. As I've said before, and the first thing I thought again when I was watching Caroline Moreau is, if you could draft one gymnast and only one gymnast from this competition for your college gymnastics team, I would pick Caroline Moreau. I'm like, that is exactly what, that's just, she's going to get so many 10s. I mean, I say that about everyone who's an elite.
Because,
not everyone, but I just say it about Alicia Joe and then Caroline Moreau, because that is true. They deserve all the 10s when they do college gymnastics.
So American Cup, the gymnasts that are going to this are Rivera, Bullock, and Pease.
Uh-huh.
And remember, this is the mixed team format.
Yeah.
We did talk about Fred Richard won for the men, even after being at the Olympics, doing Olympic stuff with NBC, the Winter Olympics, and then came back and won this meet, which is very impressive. And he's in the middle of his college season. So that bodes well for him, because he didn't have the best year last year, didn't make the world team. And so but he's not going to American Cup. And I would guess that is because he is one of the people that is not trying for American Cup, because he's in the middle of season right now.
And we also heard the Yesolo assignments, which are Charlie Bullock, Risa Sponda, Greta Kroeb, who was also very competitive on bars. I thought her composition and execution was very good. And then Moreau and Simone Rose, who finished 6th all around, had some nice moments, fell on bars, was a little tentative at the beginning of her beam. So I thought she had a little bit more of a Winter Cuppy kind of meet, where it's like there were some errors, you're kind of getting there. It was fine. So she's on the Yesolo team. So that team is just the all-around standings, but not the Woga gymnasts. So take out Hezly Rivera and Claire Pease, and then everyone else in the all-around is on the Yesolo team. The American Cup is just the top 3 all-around, which I need to talk about.
Okay, hold on.
Stop me if you've heard that one before.
I do want to mention that Asher Hong, Danila Lakin, and Yul Moldauer, back now from his whereabouts suspension. They are the male gymnasts that are doing the mixed team American Cup. So we have those now too. So, okay. So tell me about your thoughts on how people were chosen and all of that.
Did they just pick the top 3 all around for a mixed team, non all around team competition?
Is this shocking when they put Tom Forrester on the selection committee again? The dumbest decision you could ever make? Yes, that's what he does. Like, ensure that you do the dumbest thing that has nothing to do with gymnastics, and that is what you do. Okay, we don't have to do the math and see if they also had the highest. Hezly
didn't. They didn't, by the way.
Except Hezly, because she won 2 events.
But the format for Winter Cup for the women is they don't compete vault, or format for American Cup for the women is they do not compete vault. So you throw out vault, because that's not even one of the events at the competition. Women will compete bars, beam, and floor. 3 women on the team, 2 up on each apparatus. So essentially, to me, this is a team competition with a 2 up, 2 count on 3 events.
Mm-hmm.
So you would pick the highest scoring 2 up, 2 count on the 3 counting events, which, if you were using Winter Cup as your selection competition, would be Hezly Rivera, Charlie Bullock, and Risa Sponda, because Risa Sponda's floor would give her many more 10ths to the team than Claire Pease, who fell on bars and was only a half 10th higher than Charlie Bullock on beam. So if you were using this as your selection competition, then you wouldn't pick the all-around, because that's not the team that earned it for the format of the competition you're selecting it for. Now, you could have just said, we want to pick fun people because the American Cup is supposed to be fun, so we're going to pick the people who are the most fun and we like the most. You could have said that, but they didn't.
The interesting thing about this, though, is that, so who's next after Reese? Because Reese wasn't going for American Cup. She didn't put herself in to go to American Cup.
Well, why didn't you tell me that before?
Because your rant is still accurate. But who is the other?
Well, then it makes, yes, that's fine. If Reese wasn't going for American Cup, that's fine.
Okay. But I mean, the argument still stands that you should never pick.
It's a preemptive argument, because Risa Sponda would have been,
she would have been
higher scoring.
I do think, in terms of what
Simone Rose would have been tied, though. Same score. So I'm still going with.
Yeah.
I wanted Simone Rose.
I would always put Simone Rose's floor in any mix, an international competition. I would put her in. But I think it is interesting in terms of strategy by coaches. Because famously, Hezly and Claire did not go to an ankle gate, did not compete at the World Championships, and Hezly had an injury, and there's questions about why they chose not to go and what the full story on that is, but Hezly did have an injury, but the strategy as a coach of choosing, okay, which meets are on NBC, which is the Olympic partner, which creates the fluff, which creates the hype, which influences whether intentional or not, the judging and the popularity of the gymnast and who is in the mind of who's set to go to LA 28 versus the coaches and gymnasts who are like, World Championships is the most important meet. You gear your whole season to World Championships. None of this other stuff matters. Unless you're trying to prove yourself. You're not in the mix, so you're trying to prove yourself and be like, send me to these World Cups because you'll see that I can win in this atmosphere. And you'll see that, So anyway, that's just throwing out there. I think it is definitely a strategy that some coaches take into account. Well, who will get on NBC the most?
Yeah, I think it is. But is that even relevant in a world where we just assume that it's going to be the all-around standings?
Yeah.
You're not trying to impress Marta anymore. But you are trying to...
But Tom Forster's there, so...
But you're assuming that... Or are you trying to, sway the judges?
Yeah, which I feel like this did have top-rated judges at American Cup. I still, for me, I was like, these scores seem really high, but there were very, high-rated judges judging there. And again, I'm judging for my...
We can be annoyed by the judging for any judge, regardless of rating, and will
It's
continue.
True. It's very true.
Your rating does not stop me from being annoyed.
And next, it's time for NCAA news. We had more 10s, shockingly, you guys. I don't know if you've heard of NCAA Gymnastics, but it still has the 10. And you will be stoked about it because...
Will you?
Yes.
Are you?
Yes, I am. Because Caitlin Chio got 2 10s.
Since when?
And I am very happy about that.
The person I'm talking to right now who's suddenly trying to sell NCAA Gymnastics, even though you've been complaining about the scoring all season.
It is insane, but it is exciting. And I am trying to get myself hype about it because I'm tired of just complaining about the scoring.
Got it.
Because it is what it is. So I feel like you just have to embrace it for what it is. And I'm just enjoying the gymnastics as I like to do. Because, if you look at the scores, it ruins the whole thing.
That's how I feel about all of the temp tattoos and the glitter in college gymnastics. It just is what it is. My taste level is not going to influence any of this. So you just have to embrace it.
I can always hate that. Always. I had no problem. So we had 4 more 10s this weekend.
Yeah.
How are we at 20 or 16?
16. We're at 16 for the season.
A lowly 16.
Yeah, I know.
At LSU.
It's not like 2 years ago when we were at 50 by this point.
Former elite who was former elite who was like, this sucks. I'm going back to level 10, 10 on vault, 10 on beam. And also I am just like, so the Olympics coming up, you might want to really be nice to her and ask her to come back to elite because she would be a huge asset on a team that doesn't have a Simone Biles or a Suni Lee on it. So
yet.
Well, Suni did give an interview.
All interviews 100% literally. The doors are not closed.
Yeah, Suni gave an interview where she said, she's seeing how she feels. She has to, she still has time. Simone said the same thing that, Laurent's like, clock's ticking, 2 years. You need to give yourself time. And she is still taking care of her mental health and seeing how she feels and deciding. But she did post that she misses flipping. And then I'm sure NBC sent her to the Olympics because they were like, how much do we need to pay you to get you back to the Olympics? Come on. What if you just do beam or just do bars? Just what do we have to do to get you back?
What events would do you think Simone, if you could say like, okay, you can come back, but you don't have to do the all around. Like, we just want you to come back and do a couple of events. What events do you think she would pick?
Yeah, I think she would want to do floor.
Yeah. I think people would think she would want to do vault, and she's like, no, it's too scary.
Yeah, I don't think she wants
my
to do
outside
vault.
impression is she was like, bars is dumb and I don't even win it, so I won't boo to that, and vault is too scary, so I think she'd want to do beam and floor.
Yeah, I feel like since she had the most significant injury that we know about to her Achilles this past cycle, leading up to, wearing a boot when she wasn't competing, which is just a precautionary thing, which is very smart when she wasn't competing in Paris. I think that it would probably be wise for her not to do vault and floor. And that she'd probably be healthier if she did just beam and bars, and then she wouldn't have to train as much. She could take it down a notch and she'd still be great. But would that be fun for her? I don't know, because I think she really loves floor, but she maybe be able to train it a different way on floor and not,
call up
less.
Andrade and just be like, you seem to have figured out how to train floor.
Never
with
be
your
injured.
50 Achilles with your 50 torn Achilles, and you're okay now. So like, what do you do?
50 torn ACLs, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, which Andrade also was a flag bearer, carrier of the Olympic flag in the beginning of the Olympics, and she also said, we have a plan. She said she really misses bars, and it's her favorite event. That was so interesting to me, because she is magnificent on bars.
She's magnificent on bars.
Yes. I totally wonder, okay, who would you recruit? Because this happens. Who would you recruit from gymnastics to a winter sport? Because there's a double gold medalist at this Olympics. She was a runner. She was in some track and field and some, I think, bobsledding. One of those booty sports in, there
was a gymnast in the bobsled.
Yeah, there's a gymnast in bobsled too. And they said there was a diver in bobsled, and they're like, yeah, we recruit like the fast twitch people that have power, like gymnasts.
Someone who I knew growing up track was her sport in high school, and then she became a bobsled pusher after that, and was like, guess who has an Olympic medal? It's me.
Yeah, did she win an Olympic medal?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
she went to high school with my sister. I mean, I should say I didn't really know her, like, in passing.
But she was,
But my sister knows her, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought about that a lot, because I think a lot of people and one guy talked about how there is a process when you want to retire from your summer sport, they evaluate you in some countries for what winter sports you would be good for. And yeah, I feel like the booty sports, all the gymnasts would be good for those. First of all, Connor Story is who I would recruit, number one, from Heated Rivalry. I don't know if you've heard of it.
The one, Keisha Love, who was in bobsled, she was a level 10 at Olympus, which is the Avery Neff gym. Speaking of people who got 10s this weekend. And like a million other gymnasts who went to colleges in Utah. Milan, Clossie, that was her club gym.
Oh, yeah, Olympus, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
she was a level 10, and then she was like, what if I did bobsled?
I mean, Kalia Lincoln from LSU, 100%. Sorry for cat. There's cat butt in my face if you're a visual listener right now, but someone just woke up from his nap. So, I think it would be definitely none of those flipping sports. Absolutely not. None of the fly in the air and do flips. No. You already lived through gymnastics. Don't do one of those sports.
That's what I think they're mainly set for, like the aerials.
Oh my God. No. Any sport where you land so hard, you have to wear a mouth guard so your teeth don't crack. Absolutely not. No, I forbid it. I will not. I mean, also bobsled is even more dangerous than those. So you're going 90 miles an hour.
I think if we establish anything on College and Cocktails, it's that all of the sports are too scary and you should just do curling.
Curling, where the gentleman's sport where you cuss each other out. Ah, love it. Oh, good times. Anywho, so Morgan Price on vault, so great. And she did it with, we don't often see coaches who allow this, but it looked like she had a hip flexor wrap on as well. So, you know,
she had a hip mummification. Still got a 10. Doesn't stop.
And Avery Neff on vault as well. Who Avery Neff is just freaking amazing. Okay, so who's going to get the first gym slam? It's still between Chio Childs and Selena.
Yeah, I said Jordan Childs last week, and I'm sticking to it. Nothing has changed. My opinion has not. My view has not changed.
I say,
didn't get any 10s this week, Jessica. None for Jordan Childs. It was shocking.
I know.
You only got a 9975 on floor. But she did do her Lopez on vault. So I think this was like a keeping it interesting for myself kind of meet. Because I need to throw in some, because I can do more than just your Chinko double full, you guys. Come on.
Mm-hmm. And Sky also did a Lopez this week.
Sky vaulted, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're preparing. They're getting ready.
Okay. I mean, for both of them, that Lopez looks really easy. Sky's, I'm like, oh, you're training that Chung. There's no way you're not training that Chung if that Lopez looks that good. It looked so easy for her. Like, so comically easy for her.
And it's always looked so easy for her. And we're always like, twist that thing.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the same thing with Jordan Childs. But also, when Paul Judah kept doing that during the American Cup broadcast, I was like, stop it. College gymnastics, we're perfecting the execution of the difficulty we could do so that it is pristine and worthy of a 10. Stop telling people to upgrade their jiggle faults.
This is the thing. I was just like, in trying to hype myself to get out of this scream about the scores funk, which is what this is the point of NCAA gymnastics, really. So I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, obviously.
We come here and we complain about the results and the scores. Like, that is what it's for.
We come here to scream about the scores.
We come to this place for that. Yeah.
And it is, you just see a perfect gymnastics in a way that you do not see at all in elite. Even as much as I talk about Nemour, she's probably the only one that's close to perfect gymnastics compared to what you get to see in NCAA, because it is the most important thing is the form and perfecting the form. And and you can do fun things if you dare, especially on floor, which no one dares because there's like 6 interesting routines and that's it. But at least there are some. It happened. I started complaining again. Okay. NQS.
It's just, if you start analyzing, you can't. That's why you have to try to make a point of writing down your compliments. You don't have to make notes about your complaints because
you don't have to lie about it. Like, that was perfect. And her knees are literally so bent, she kicked herself in the eyeball and gave herself a freaking black eye. But you can write down deduction.
Okay, did you also catch the moment on the Winter Cup broadcast where I think Paul Judah pretended like he didn't know what a Tkachev was?
Yes, there was another.
I was like, Paul, you know what a Tkachev is.
It was a little off-putting to hear Paul's voice because he sounds very much like a young Tim Daggett.
Oh.
Like, he has like a sports ball man voice, which is a little when I hear it in gymnastics, I'm like, oh no, Ollie's the only man we accept doing the voices in this sport. But there's another thing where he called something a whip. Oh, which is probably how it infected your brain. The Branny to double back. He called it a whip.
That probably is what we can blame it on Paul Judah instead of me.
There you go. But I'm glad they're giving athletes a chance to develop in this way. Like, Winter Cup, it's like a no stakes meet. Like, let the athletes like try this out. And okay, NQS is upon us as of last week. So the team rankings, Oklahoma stays number 1 versus they competed against LSU this past weekend. LSU was at Oklahoma, and that was our meet of the week for College and Cocktails. So we have a full breakdown with many discussions of all of your questions about that meet. It was very close.
It was.
Yeah, it was a good meet. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it was definitely LSU's best performance that I had seen this year.
And without Connor, who was whacked herself on the bar in warm-up. So she didn't
And we are very glad when she whacked herself in her church that it was her arm and not her face, because sometimes we're worried it's her face because it sometimes gets close.
We don't want her to have hockey teeth because Jesus, those hockey players, you know how I feel about this. Wear a face mask, you losers. Anywho, which, you know what? Honestly, if you're doing bars, you should be wearing a face mask, some kind of face protection as well. Because how many gymnasts remember when Danelle Leyva was at the World Championships and his tooth that just flew right out of his mouth?
It happens.
Japan, never forget. So LSU remains in second. Alabama's
still third. Florida's fourth. UCLA's fifth. The only movement in the top 10, Missouri moved ahead of Arkansas, because even though they got their first 10, they also counted a fall on bars. But rankings are going to be more static now, I think, with a new NQS. When you count more meets, it kind of takes a bigger score to change it. So we didn't see a lot of change among the top teams, and I think we're not going to see as much moving and shaking among the team rankings as we go through. But Utah did move up a spot, but they would still be in the same regional as Florida and UCLA if the season ended today. And because I enjoy chaos, I'm rooting for that to stay.
I mean, you should, no matter where you are, you should be able to win one of those top two spots.
If you intend to win the national championship. But once again, that is 3 teams that should intend to win the national championship. Go into the same regional where only 2 teams can advance. So doesn't matter if you want it more, if all 3 teams are good.
Speaking of which, we didn't talk about Chuso. Chuso competed in Cottbus and she made the vault final, but I think she was 7th. So yeah, I don't know.
Her current difficulty is not going to be enough. And so it's she has competed 19,000 different vaults in her career, but is that there now to make it in the apparatus standings?
It would
but then again, she's behind a lot of gymnasts who aren't going to be in these standings after all. Like we would presume Karina Schoenmeier, for instance, Germany will qualify a team to Worlds, so
it would be really interesting to see Chuso go to a totally different coach. Maybe go to Japan, work with, just go somewhere where they're going to be like, let's totally relearn your vault technique and try something different for you.
Because she can do whatever she wants at this point. Like if she's
but I'm just saying,
I'm not learning a new technique.
Which is how I think she
feels.
She's like, I do these weird commercials for, I don't understand ever what she's selling in her commercials in Uzbekistan, right? Uzbekistan.
That's where she competes, yes.
She's just like in a lot of flowy clothes in front of a mirror and I'm just like, I don't know what this is for, but I'm sure you are taking all of this makeup and that dress off immediately as fast as you can. But I just I love watching her and I think it's great. But anywho, you know what? She could probably be eligible to compete in NCAA now, the way the rules are. So that could be her next chapter.
That would be the funniest thing that's ever happened. And now it's all I want to have happen.
The 50-year-old freshman.
And a bunch of freshmen. She's living in the dorms.
She's like, Okay.
How does it work with some of these adults who have lived on their own and then coming in a freshman and then having I feel like
it doesn't work. That's how it works.
I feel like you can't go back.
I don't know how Pinches did it. I think she lived in the dorms the first, and she was already, and Danusha too. They were not like, or did Danusha come right away? But yeah, they already had been like living adult lives. I think you get out of the dorms and get your own place immediately. Or you do 1 semester in the dorms, because I think they might make all freshmen do that.
Yeah.
Right. Or you have to come in the summer and do that summers thing where they're like, so you know how to school, right? Because we think you only got in because you're an athlete. So you get special, like they have like football players take ballet and they have like study classes and all this stuff. It is good because it's like, this is going to be 100 times harder for you because we're paying you to do a sport. So we're going to help give you some tools. But yeah, maybe they do that and then they're like, peace out. I'm going to live with my, boyfriend that I've had for 10 years already and getting our own place. So
anyway, on that note, the individual rankings in college gymnastics. So all around, Jordan Childs remains number 1 in the all around. Our flip flop was for second. Kaylin Chio moved up to second all around. Addison Feta is now in third because, Kaylin Chio got 2 10s this week. Avery Neff moves up to fourth, and Chloe Cho, Illinois.
The Cho Show. Oh, so excited. Everything she does, I love. I can't, just her flow routine, the whole beginning of it, yes. I also love that Illinois understood the assignment and they made a poster that was the Cho Show versus Childs. That was what their poster said. Okay. And I was like, yes, this is what we're talking about. Sell out your arena. You have a brand name coming and you have the Cho Show. That's exactly what the headline should read. All of this team, blah, blah, blah. Sell some tickets.
Okay, here's my question. I'm taking the top 5 who are in the all-around right now. That's Childs, Chio, Feta, Neff, and Cho. What is your favorite event for each of them? Aesthetically, just not deductions, just like, I get to watch you on one event. What's your event for each of the 5 of them?
Cho, I really like her on beam. Chio...
I really like her on beam.
And
also, I really like her on beam.
Child's floor is the one. That's absolutely one. Even though bars is actually her best event.
I would pick is bars.
Yeah, she's so good and so consistent. She's always like our assassin on bars. It's just crazy how consistent and great her bars are. But floor is, she understands the performance and totally gets it, and doesn't her giving 2% in a floor routine is more than most gymnasts give ever if you combine their effort and performance quality in their entirety of their careers. And then Avery Neff, Avery Neff.
Challenging.
Yeah, I mean, Avery Neff's kind of an everywhere.
Avery Neff is an everywhere. I think that's a hard one.
Her vault's good. Beam is good. Even though she stopped trying her really exciting.
I know. That's why beam fell behind bars for me. Because that double A full on bars, that steps it up. You are going for something that you don't have to do, that is, a potential deduction trap. But when she nails it, it's like, this should be rewarded. Because I think, and I didn't ask you about Feta. That's a hard one. I don't know. But I think
because she's improved so much that I'm just like, everywhere. She's better. I guess
say for me, those 5, it's bars for everyone except Chio, where it's beam. And that might just be because I'm like a bars and beam nerd and I care less about vaulted floor. So I'm like, pass. I just want to watch bars and beam. But I think it's interesting that like bars is the event that I enjoy most of the top all-arounders on the most. It's the event I'm enjoying in college just this season, I think, overall the most.
Yeah.
Because like Alabama's nailing it on bars with LaCourciere and Rock Bar, and I'm just enjoying the college gymnastics bars quality, even though it's samey. I have composition criticisms and the sameness, but just the execution quality I'm enjoying.
Should we get to? We have a couple of Gymternet news that we should.
Let's Gymternet news.
Gymternet news. Okay, first. We talked about the Olympians doing the Today Show. So Suni did an interview on the Today Show. She's leaving the door open for 2028. They also put Jordan Childs on the poster for Olympians. Next up is LA 28 for the Today Show. And like we all assume, like Jordan obviously is going for LA 28. Like I see
nothing has happened that makes me think she wouldn't.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. The only thing that
with Suni, I'm like, do what you want to do, but don't let anyone pressure you to come back.
Yes.
Suni, take care of yourself.
You kidneys first. That's the most important thing. Jade Carey made a post on social where she's on bars and she was like, I'm coming back for LA 24. And then she gets on the bar and was like, no, wait. I mean 28. And it was adorable. So we think for sure she's coming back.
Yeah, she's
the one thing going back to Jordan, though, who's going to coach her? Her coaches are gone. If she's done with college, she could go to Georgia, but I don't think she's going to want to go to Georgia and train. Laurent is in Martinique coaching Melanie. And who doesn't want to go to Martinique?
I think you just got your answer.
Go to
what if Jordan finished her college career and went to Martinique and hung out with Melanie and Laurent. I don't have any. I see no possible issues. That's the perfect idea.
The only thing I can see, if you're an athlete that does a lot of media, it's a long, complicated way to travel to do that. Whereas
we have the internet now.
That's true, but you know how people like to do things in person.
Yeah, but then that's where your agent comes in, Jordan. Ask for enough money. Or do the Joaquina thing where she was like, I'll come to your Hall of Fame ceremony if you give me a shopping spree.
And a bag of diamonds. No, the bag of diamonds we don't know first. We're making it up. We don't know. Yeah, so I think Jade will definitely come back, and I'm glad she's just taking time to like be an assistant coach and like be in love and hang out and be happy and enjoy her Jadeness. Do you think Simone will do a tour?
Wait, like before the Olympics, after the Olympics?
Post-Olympic tour.
A post-Olympic tour?
Because if she does it, USAG is fucked again. And she's in charge, which is...
Yeah, I think if she doesn't do the 2028 Olympics, she could like be
like Nadia and keep doing tours.
Be like the tour ambassador who's like, I'm now presenting the gymnasts from this year who I have endorsed and want to spend time around. And only them.
Yes.
No one else. So this is how you know which gymnast to root for. The ones Simone is willing to spend a summer with on tour. That's what I want. That's the little subtle, like, here are the good ones.
That would be great. It'll be like Ellie, Melanie. Yeah. I mean, Nadia did tours until she was in her late 30s, I think. She got hurt. It was like the same day she gave an interview about. It's like she was the same day that Steffi or what's the tennis player that got stabbed on the court?
Monica Seles
got stabbed, and she was thinking about that. And kind of, it was in her mind, and she said she just wasn't thinking, and she did a tumbling pass and hurt herself, and she was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I need to stop." But she was only in her 30s. Like Simone could do this until her 100s because she's a freak, much like Nadia's. Anywho, you guys, Jade Carey also could do this forever, but I'm glad she's giving herself a break. Voinia, speaking of can't catch a break, Sabrina Voinia, who would have been the bronze medalist on floor if things hadn't been a dumpster fire with judging.
Gesture, ellipsis, you all know, just the gestures and everything. Yeah.
She had emergency appendectomy surgery, so glad they got that out, hoping for no infections. Reese got another medal, as in Reese McClanagan, the only Reese McClanagan of the Irelands.
The only Reese.
Well, no, we have other Reeses.
Reese Sponda?
Well, we have Reese Sponda, and we have Reese. There's a British Reese, who's I'm totally blanking on right now. But Reese, Ireland, with a HYS. Yeah. I never think of them the same because they spell it differently. So, yeah. But anywho, he is an MBA member of the Order of the British Empire. For everybody that's always telling me not to say British Empire, they literally give an award about the British Empire. Do you know whose grandfather was born in the colonial British Empire, Spencer?
Yours?
Yes.
I wasn't sure if we were going to a gymnast or we were going biographical.
There isn't even a place. It just says like India colonial area or something. Totally offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a great grandmother whose immigration documents say she's from Rush-Ger-Pol, which is Russia, Germany, Poland.
So
it says RUSGERPOL.
Oh, I think that was like the Prussian border. Is it Poland down there?
They were like, we don't know what this is.
Yeah, they were like, you're from somewhere.
And foreign.
Then, as I continue to do my how do I get a second passport, this is going to be very relevant to the next story I'm going to talk about right here. But as I continue to do our who will give us a passport to another country research, then my grandfather came back through Ellis Island when he finally came back. But yeah, grew up his whole life in India. So anyway, gym hopping.
Okay.
Like hopping countries, something is happening. So Helen Kevrich of Germany, their best Olympian at the Paris Olympics, because the two others were injured coming in. One was ill, one was injured coming in. The Lyme disease plethora of diseases got to Sarah Voss, and then Paulina had a neck injury, so they were not at their best. But Kevrich did amazing. And since last year she was injured on vault, and now her coaches were dismissed from the German Federation. They have gone back to Italy. So Amy Borman, former coach of Simone Biles for 16 million medals, was hired by the German Federation to coach at Stuttgart, where they're having these problems. But now Kevrich has decided that she wants to still be coached by her coaches who were fired. So she is going back and forth to Italy to be coached by them, despite the allegations against them, etc. So, I mean, this is her choice if that's what she wants to do. But it is, ugh. I feel like this. I feel like this, if the Federation does all the right things and they remove in their jurisdiction, so to speak, they remove the problem. They remove the danger of coaches from the athletes. If the athletes still want to go to them, like, but what's going to happen when she wants to compete? They can't coach her. So, Kevrich for Italy? She can get Italian citizenship?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to have.
Sounds very familiar to the Kalian and Nemour situation.
Right. Or the thing is that Kevrich, I think she still has good relationships with the coaches in the German Federation. Like, I think there are people that she would trust to coach her. So I don't think it's necessarily she's like, there's no one here, but that there are those situations, like what's happening with the best French gymnast right now,
Elena Colas.
Thank you. Where she's like, I'm not going to camp in beautiful Martinique on the tropical island paradise where they just built this beautiful, amazing gym here. So all these wonderful human beings don't have to export themselves to France and can stay in a tropical paradise and will stay with their families and train. I'm not going because I can't take my coaches with her. Which you're like, well, is that your decision or is that your coach's decision? You always wonder. We try to answer your questions on college and cocktails. And I'm trying to find one that we could get to today that we can. Oh, here we go. We can get to this one.
Okay.
Oh, we're only at 22 pages of. Okay. Tallest gymnast ever from Ben.
Oh.
Is Casey Brown the tallest gymnast ever to compete in NCAA at 5'9"? No.
Tell me who.
Sorry.
Morrison?
Morrison. She was 6 foot, I think. Wasn't she? 5'9". I feel like there's someone taller than her at Cal.
That's Casey Brown?
Oh, no. Hold on. I'm looking up.
So we've got Emma White, who is at Illinois. Who's listed at 6 foot.
Yes, 6 foot. I knew there was a 6 foot gymnast. And there's definitely been other 6 foot tall gymnasts. Yeah, you guys. So never give up your dreams. Or just, if you need a little kid, have a little kid that needs inspiration, you could just do what my dad did and totally lie and say, it doesn't matter how tall you're going to be because Tracy Talavera is 6 feet tall.
How tall is Tracy?
She's shorter than me. Tracy comes up to like my chin, but a statuesque human being. She presents tall. Yeah. But I mean, the things that I believed that me and my sister talk about and still will our family repeat. And we're like, oh, that's not true. That never happened. But I always believed because of that bullshit story. I always was like, of course I could do
That's
gymnastics.
The lesson. Lie to your children. It's fine. They'll believe anything. Kids are dumb.
We will see you this Friday's College and Cocktails, also known as Group Therapy for Gym Nerds, with a cocktail or mocktail for me. We will be watching Georgia at Kentucky Friday the 27th at 5 p.m. That's Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. It's very, very early. So, and this week's cocktail or mocktail is Code Hacker. So, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to check out our new merch so you can rep on Friday nights in your house or with your friends or at your get-togethers. At gymcastic.com, you can find everything. And thank you so much. We'll see you on Friday night. Can't wait. Thanks for listening.